Okay, so this is a tutorial on how to use or how to do the blind analysis for the close versus the far cricket. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open up the blind analysis folder, and then you're going to click on one of the spiders that you're going to want to do. So we're going to do RCS, for example. So you have A versus B. So A and B are the images you're going to be comparing. So in each one of these folders, you select one image, preferably the most clear or the one that you want to work with. So for image A, I'm going to pick 20. So we go open with Adobe Photoshop. Now the first thing you're going to want to do when you get inside of Photoshop is you're going to want to press Enter, Enter, and then you go Layer from Background. So now that we have this layer from background, you just press Enter, and then we're going to want to zoom in. So the key for this is you want to use this quick selection tool. Now if you want to look up here, so it's actually the fourth one from the top. So there's a plus and a minus. So the plus is what you're going to use to select pixels, and you can adjust the size by the size slider. So I like to start off with like 10 or 11 pixels. So as you can see, we're going to zoom in here. So, and then we're going to go back to the quick selection tool. So you're going to want to select where this interior medial boomerang is. So you select it, and as you can see, it's not super accurate, but we're not going for accuracy right now. We'll adjust that here in a minute. So as you can see, it's selecting some of this area. Now, as you can see, I selected a little bit too much. So how to adjust for this is you see this minus tool. So you select this minus tool, and you can adjust your pixel sliders. This is basically taking some of the pixels away. So I'm going to set it to like 6 or 5. Okay. So now we can kind of fine tune where we're going. Okay. So there's that. Now this is just the tutorial, so I'm not going to really go for super accuracy like you'll be doing in your blind analysis. So this is basically what we want to work with. Okay, so now that we have kind of the boomerang, just a rough idea of the boomerang, I'm going to double click it, and we're going to go layer via cut. Okay, so now as you can see, if I go down to the bottom right and I don't show the base layer, so you see we just have the boomerang. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the layer 0, and I'm going to go to delete layer. Okay, so as you can see now I have just the boomerang. So then I'm going to go to image adjustments. Okay, so we go to image mode, and then we go to select RGB color. So now this entire image is in RGB, so we can make it a color. So then I'm going to go to hue and saturation. So you can make this whatever color you want. I think whenever I did this, I set it to like 276. So this becomes red. Okay. So now we have the first photoreceptor done, or interior medial eye done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to minus out of Photoshop, and we're going to get out of this, and we're going to go to B now. So now we have part B. Okay. So we're going to select another boomerang. So this could be far or near cricket, but I'm not going to tell you because it's blind analysis. So we're going to open this up with Photoshop. So now we have our second image, which was B, and we're going to do the same process. We're going to go layer from background, layer 0, okay. And then we go to the quick selection tool right here. Now another good thing is if you press Z on your keyboard, you're going to be able to zoom in and out by sliding your mouse around. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to this quick selection tool, and I'm going to kind of pick out the photoreceptor, or the interior medial eye again. Okay, so we use this kind of a rough idea. Okay, so it's probably like around here. Okay, so now I'm going to fine tune my selection. Okay, so now that we have this, I'm going to fine tune it by zooming in, and we're going to go to the minus tool, and we're going to adjust the pixel size to like 4, and now we're going to outline the interior medial eye as best as we can. Now, like I said before, this isn't going to be perfect because this is just a tutorial on how to do the blind analysis. So there's that. Okay. All right, so there's kind of what we're working with here. Obviously, it's not perfect, but we're going to work with it. So now you double click again and you go layer via cut. So that layer is cut out. Okay, so we're going to go here now. We can do layer via cut or layer via copy, it doesn't matter. So now we're going to go to the layer 0 and we're going to delete the layer. Delete the layer. Okay, so now we have another boomerang. So the key here is you want to make this a different color than what you made the other one. So I like to work with red and blue because where there was overlap, there was a nice like purple shade. So we're going to go to hue and saturation, and we're going to change this to blue. Colorize, okay, blah, 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 blah. So that's like the color I kind of like. It looks cool. So 234. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this image and we're going to drag and drop it into Cricut Layer 1 into image A. So as you can see now, we have ourselves a little bit of this. So if you look here, we don't have a perfect overlap because there's some that's missing from both, as you can see. So what we're going to do here is we look at layer 2. So another good thing to do is just rename. So we know that we made A, red A, and we made blue B, so I like to rename the layers as well. So we're going to rename this as well. Go double click in there, B, okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one and I'm going to go to image adjustments. Where is it? Transparency, blah, 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 blah. Oh, here we go. Okay, so now that we're in image B, we're going to go to opacity and we're going to put it down to like 70. Okay, so now we have like a kind of like a silhouette of what we're working with. So as you can see, the middle is like right around here. The middle right there is right around there. So what I'm going to do now is I try and line up the middles as best as I can, which I would say it's probably right around there. Okay, so now we go to, you press Command T to kind of free rotate it. So now I can kind of rotate it, so I'm going to try and get it as precise as possible. Okay, so as you can see now, the red one is a little bit bigger than the blue one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this window on the bottom right to get to focus on the A, and we're going to use the eraser tool, which is near the middle. It looks kind of like a square. So now what I'm going to do is I zoom in and I clear any pixels that aren't overlapped. So we have right here, which we'll get these to go away here in a minute. Okay. So now that those are gone away, boom. Okay, so now it's pretty even. So pretty fair comparison. And you know, if you're ever like really nervous, you can always go further up and just delete both if you think that there's not really a fair comparison for either one. So now that we have them overlapped, but like I said before, I'm not going to do like a full on one. This is just kind of like a walkthrough on how to do it. So now that we've erased kind of areas that don't overlap, then now I'm going to press the little eyeglass. And as you can see now, only the blue one's left. So then I go to Select, Focus Area, and you just press OK. Well, okay, so we're actually on the red one. I didn't click out of it. So as you can see, I did the focus area, and it's showing just the red one now. So if you press these little like bars here, the histogram, it's going to tell me how many pixels. So right now it's telling me there's 8,805 pixels in this entire image. So I'm going to go into Excel or whatever, and you just write down the name of the spider and the number of pixels. So this would be like Arceus A, 8,805 pixels. And now that I have that, we go to Select, Deselect. So now I'm going to open up, now I'm going to double click on the bottom right to image B. I don't know why I accidentally double clicked. Okay, so now we're on image B because you can see the squares around image B. So we do the same thing. We go select, focus, shoot. Now we go to select, focus area. So we have select focus area, you just press OK. Now as you can see, we have the entire outline of the other eye, or the other anterior medial image. So then we click the histogram, and this one has 9,617 pixels. So you would, again, go into Excel and go, okay, so this is RCSB, 9,617 pixels. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. Again, I didn't accurately trim the photoreceptors. I just kind of eyeballed it. But whenever you're cropping these, you really want to make sure that just white colored areas are in focus or in your crop, and then you just want to drag and drop to another area or to the other image, and then you do the focus area and the eraser tool, and then you can count the photoreceptors. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or just ask me in the lab. Have a good one, and happy wine analysising.